New Ulm. I'm Rebecca Fliszar, the dietitian with the Hearts Beat Back Heart of New Ulm project, working to reduce and eventually eliminate heart attacks in the 56073 zip code. Well, today we have a great recipe, and our guest today is Amy Furth. Welcome, Amy.
Thank you.
First of all, let's take a few minutes to talk about what you do at your home, what brought you on the show, and how you adapt all of your recipes to being a mom.
All right. Well, let's see. What was our first question?
Well, what brought you here today?
What brought me here? Well, I have this yummy recipe, chicken stroganoff. It's a nice winter fall meal that my kids actually enjoy, except minus the mushrooms. My daughter's not a mushroom fan.
Okay.
And so it's kind of a family meal that we enjoy having. And so I thought I'd offer this one for the Heart of New Ulm.
Well, great. So now when you make this, you did mention that you keep out the mushrooms, but your kids like it, even though you've made some heart-healthy modifications.
Oh, no. We put the mushrooms in. So I either cut them super small so my daughter can't find them,
Okay.
or I leave them nice and big so she can pick them out. Because the rest of us all like mushrooms.
And so do your kids even notice a difference between a regular stroganoff and this little bit leaner?
I don't even make the regular stroganoff anymore.
Good. Good. So what other healthy things do you like to do in your family to follow the Heart of New Ulm principles?
Well, what we do at home is we actually have a little checklist on the fridge on fruits and vegetables, and we make a tally behind each person's name to see how many servings of fruits and vegetables each family member has eaten.
Good.
So it's my husband and I and 3 children.
Good.
So we keep little check marks.
And you've done some competitions in the past with friends, is that correct?
Yep, we did a Biggest Loser competition this past winter, and so we weren't the biggest loser, my husband and I, but as a team we were down 22 pounds, so that was exciting.
Good, that's great. Well, you know, you can do all of these things in your home as well. Having competitions with friends, making modifications for your family, all will add up to a pretty big difference in your home. All right, Amy, I think we're ready to start this recipe. So where do we start?
All right, first I'm going to wash my hands, and then we're going to start cooking some turkey bacon in our skillet.
Now, Amy is one of our Community Health Challenge leaders, representing her district, getting everyone moving, and involving our community in our healthy activities. We're about to kick off our second quarter, which is our nutrition quarter. We just are finishing up and carrying on with our exercise program. So if you are in a district and you don't know your district leader, do call us here at the Heart of New Ulm, and we'll connect you with your leader and get you involved in our Community Health Challenge.
All right, so what I have here is 4 slices of turkey bacon, and you can either cook these whole like we're going to now, or you can cut them up ahead of time and cook them in just little pieces. So I'm just going to layer them, 1 layer in the skillet here, and let those get going. And while those are cooking, we're going to cut up some chicken here. So we've got 1 pound of chicken breast, probably a little bit more, and I'm going to cut it into first in slices, and I'm going to cube it because it's a little bit easier for my 4-year-old to eat chunks of chicken versus strips of chicken.
Okay. You know, just by changing the turkey bacon, we've already made a pretty big reduction in our saturated fat and our total cholesterol intake. So a small change like that is going to add up in this recipe. You know, making sure you trim the fat off your chicken breast and keep it as lean as possible is also going to help. You may have noticed too that Amy did not add any oil into her frying pan. We're going to use just that, what's in the bacon, and that's going to be plenty. So again, a reduction in our total calorie intake.
So one of the things we also do at home when we have meals is we make sure we serve a salad with every meal.
Good.
So even if it's just lunch and we have actually what we do is I buy the romaine lettuce and I wash it all ahead of time and have it all ripped, because I've read that when you cut it, it causes it to turn brown faster. So we rip the lettuce and we keep it in a salad spinner at home, and that way it's always there. Because otherwise I find like if I buy it and I don't prepare it ahead of time, I don't eat it.
Oh, that's very true. And you know, when we have a lot of loss like that, people tend to not buy their vegetables again because they didn't get their money's worth. So preparing your vegetables ahead of time is our key to success. And just having them on hand ready to eat is more likely for your children to eat them as well. So if it's a quick, easy snack and it's ready to go, you're pretty sure to see those kids start to eat those as well.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of how it started. My husband and I were having salads with every meal, and all of a sudden my 9-year-old, well, who's 9 now, she was 7 at the time, said, well, why can't I have a salad? And it never really occurred to me. So I thought, all right, well, let's get you in a salad.
Great.
I think that looks like enough chicken for today. What do you think, Becca?
Yeah, that looks good.
Okay, I'm going to wash my hands again here.
And that is a good reminder. Amy is doing proper hand washing. We don't want to have any cross-contamination. Anytime you're handling any raw chicken, raw beef, raw pork, we want to make sure we're washing our hands thoroughly. We are going to transition to our vegetables, and that is going to be a cross-contamination. We surely don't want to make our family members sick. So you can see this is going to be about a pound of chicken. Again, 4 strips of the turkey bacon, both falling into those heart-healthy principles that we've been teaching through the Mediterranean diet.
What a little fork so we can turn that bacon. Is there one over here? Oh, there we go. All right, I'm just gonna turn this here so we get it cooked evenly on both sides. Nice thing about turkey bacon is you don't get all that grease splattering up at your face.
Yeah, it looks great. And it will get crispy, and it does have that same texture, so it is a good choice to make.
And it stays flat. It doesn't curl up. So
That's
it's
right.
perfect for BLTs.
Great.
All right, so while that's cooking, we're going to set the chicken aside so that once that pan is ready, we can use it again for our chicken. I don't know about anybody else, but I don't like to do dishes. So the
That's right.
least amount of dishes we can use, the better off I think we are. Next up, what we're going to do is we're going to throw some noodles into our pan. It is almost boiling, so I would say close enough. About 6 ounces of noodles. I would say, let's see here, we've got a pound. I'm just going to throw a couple handfuls in here.
And again, we did use the lower fat egg noodles. It does make for a better stroganoff, but we want to be careful. Any kind of egg noodle will have a little bit of cholesterol in it. It's just one more way we can reduce that.
We should have brought our electric scale so we could have weighed these.
Yes, unless you're a finicky cooker at home, you don't really need to weigh things. Amy happens to be a diligent cook, but a good eyeball always works as well.
Sure. And so we're going to get that boiling, and while that is going, we're going to mix together our sour cream and flour till blended, and then we're going to stir in some chicken broth and such. I'm going to use this fork and get about a, what am I looking for? 3/4 cup of sour cream. And we've used the light sour cream. Still has a little bit of flavor.
Yeah, there is quite a difference. If you're making a casserole or something, a regular fat-free sour cream does work well. It is going to be your lowest in cholesterol and fat. But if you're looking for something with a little bit of full flavor, you do want to go with just that light. Remember, the Mediterranean principles do say that you can have some of our animal fat. We do want to limit that, but it doesn't have to be completely eliminated.
All right, so we've got this in our bowl here, and then we need a 4th cup
I can take that.
of flour. That would be fabulous. Is this already measured out to be a 4th cup?
It is not.
All right.
3 of those.
3 of these equals a 4th cup. That's good to know. So some flour, and we'll get a whisking. And in our family, we started cooking healthy after I had had our 3rd child, and just wasn't happy with the way I looked and the way I felt, and finally said to my husband, something has to change. Friday night pizza night is not working for my nice German hips and thighs that I was given. And so my husband and I together decided to go on a weight loss program.
Good.
And we did an online sort of thing, and we both dropped about 25 pounds and have had it off now for about 2 years.
Good for you.
So, and we really just started with some small goals. Like one of mine, the first time was to find 20 minutes 3 times a week to walk. And I figured there was no reason I couldn't find 20 minutes for myself.
Right.
So, and we just started with some small steps, and it worked out really well for the 2 of us. So I'm going to turn my bacon here. Ooh, I think that's getting good and crispy. Maybe a little too crispy, but that's all right. We're going to set that aside. Becca, can I set this hot
Yep,
stuff on the
absolutely.
pan?
And in keeping with our first quarter of our community challenge, we do encourage you to have at least 150 minutes of physical activity per week. Now, if you don't enjoy walking or running, any kind of physical activity can make a difference. Now is a good time for us to start cleaning out those gardens. Maybe want to plant those bulbs for next year. These are all ways to get physical activity, get outside, enjoy these last days of our summer going into fall, and staying active.
Definitely.
All right, so what are we adding here to our mix?
All right, so I've got this flour and sour cream mixed together, and then I'm going to add some chicken broth here. About 3/4 cup reduced fat chicken broth. And I think most chicken broth is reduced fat now, but you can also find it in the sodium, reduced sodium.
Right.
So we're going to cook this or whisk this together until it's smooth. Maybe I'll let you do that.
All right.
While I start getting the chicken going. I'm actually going to cook the chicken with some garlic because I think that just adds a little bit more flavor to it. If I can break this garlic up. And I don't know about you, but I like lots of garlic.
I do too, and it is great for your heart, so the more you can add, the better.
We just grew garlic in our garden, and I didn't realize what a pretty flower it is.
Sure.
All right, so I have a couple cloves here. I don't know. 2 big, 1 small. Does that sound good?
Great.
And I like to pop it in the microwave for a few seconds because then that skin, that hard skin, usually peels off a little bit easier.
Okay. You can see as we continue to mix this, it's going to thicken up. We can add a little flour if needed, but it's going to stand up to a nice sauce, and it's not going to be that high latent fat that you would have if you had the regular cream in your typical stroganoff.
So I'm doing over here while my garlic is nuking is I'm just going to put a little oil in our same turkey bacon skillet. Get that going. I don't think that's closed, so. So while these might be slightly hot to the touch, this skin just really, oh, there was one extra in there. This outside hard skin peels off very easily.
Great. Now remember, a small clove of garlic will actually equal about 1/4 of a teaspoon minced. The bigger the clove, you have to account for that. So 2 large cloves is actually about 1 tablespoon. So if you're making that conversion in your recipe, that is what you're looking for.
Fabulous garlic.
Yeah.
Well, except I can't get that one off.
That's okay.
All right, well, we'll pass on that one. We'll just use these 2 big boys here.
Remember, if there's other things like onion, you will be adding that as well. But if you have a specific taste, go ahead and add a little bit more. You can never have too many vegetables, so if there's something extra you'd like to throw in there, do feel free. Our recipe today calls for broccoli, again, the onion and the garlic, but anything else that you'd like to add in there, carrots, peas, will also go with this recipe well. So do feel free to throw those in there.
Ooh, that smells yummy. Oops, my oil might be a little hot.
So Amy, when you're browning your chicken, what is it that you're looking for? How do you know when your chicken is going to be done?
I usually cut open my big chunks in here and
Okay.
make sure that they are not pink anymore.
Right, and you want to make sure your juices are running clear, and make sure if you have a thermometer, that's helpful as well. Getting that temperature up to at least 160 degrees ensures that your chicken is cooked thoroughly.
All right, we should probably stir our noodles here, make sure they're going.
Okay. Let me help you with that, Amy.
All right, that'd be great.
Yeah, they're doing fine.
Ready?
So this does feel like a pretty nice fall, wintry kind of meal. It's going to be very filling. It's nice and warm. Your house will smell great. So it is something that you want to start using pretty soon with our weather changing.
All right, so we got that going. I've made a nice little garlic mess here for somebody, me maybe. All right, so we've got that going. I'm going to season this a little bit with salt and pepper here. Our flour, sour cream. Ooh, I'm moving the table. There we go. And I'm not a big salt lover, so I'm just going to do just a little tiny. Oops, that was a little bit more. We'll just add more
Remember, pepper is fine. We can use as much pepper as you'd like. We like to limit our salt. As long as you're staying below those 2,000 milligrams or 2 grams of sodium per day, that's where we want to be for the heart-healthy diet. So make sure you're watching that, read your food labels, and do limit your table salts. It's the easiest way to cut our sodium levels down is just put down your salt shaker and try to do without.
All right, so next what we're going to do here is chop up some of the broccoli. And since this was already a vegetable, cutter, I'm going to use the same one. I'm going to use this big knife here. My husband likes the big cleavers. He cuts a piece of toast with the biggest knife he can find. So, and I like bite-sized pieces. I know you know, whatever your preference is with broccoli, I like little pieces. Plus, it tends to cook faster. You know, and in our busy world today, we're always running from one thing to the next, so.
Yeah. This does seem like a nice meal, though, that you can put in the fridge and heat up later. It's a good leftover meal.
Definitely. And I've actually taken it to some friend's house, you know, if somebody's been sick or they had a new baby or whatever. I've made it ahead of time, just gave them instructions on reheating it.
Great.
And we're good to go.
Yeah, with busy schedules, we need something that's quick and easy for the kids to make sure that they're getting a filling meal, meeting their vegetable requirements, and still enjoying what they're eating. So what else would you throw in here, Amy? What other kind of vegetables does your family like?
Oh, my kids love carrots, and we grew carrots in the garden this year, so we have an overabundance of carrots.
Great.
It's funny, my son loves potatoes, but doesn't like mashed potatoes.
Okay.
So we do a lot of potatoes. Red potatoes, baby red, we like to eat. Let's see, what else do we like? Oh, my daughter loves tomatoes, which I think is funny, my 4-year-old. She loves the cherry tomatoes, thinks they're candy, which that works for me.
Well, you know, it's how you introduce those foods to your family as well. So if you tell your kids that this is their reward, that vegetables are really great and it's something they've earned, it becomes a treat to them as well. So incorporating those into your regular food routines are more likely going to be successful down the road. Introducing new vegetables to a 12-year-old can sometimes be a challenge, so start young.
Yes. My son, who's 6, loves guacamole. So every time we go to the store, he asks to buy avocado.
Oh, good.
So that's kind of a unique one, I thought, for a 6-year-old. Most adults don't like guacamole. I think I'm going to go with that for the broccoli.
Good.
Looks good. I'm going to chop up some parsley here. Actually, I'm going to check my chicken first.
Again, we are looking for that to be completely browned. We don't want to see any pink on any side, and we will cut up those larger pieces. Food safety is of our primary concern, making sure that everything is cooked thoroughly. No cross-contamination in your knives or your cutting boards are important when you're preparing this meal.
Yeah. I think those are browning up quite nicely.
Good.
And I've got some broccoli on my hands here, so take those. All right.
And you know, the parsley, something that we often find as a garnish on the side of our plates, is actually full of nutrients, something that we definitely want to make sure you're eating, and putting it in the meal is going to add a great flavor. So instead of just leaving it on your plate when you walk away, do incorporate it into your meal. It's going to be much better for you.
That smells good too. There we go. There's some parsley. We'll add a little more. Can't go wrong. All right, now the onion. Oh, now I might cry, so I apologize. Do you have a garden out at your place?
We do. We have a great garden. Actually, next year we're hoping to grow some edamame. You may have seen in one of our previous shows with Leah Peck, we tried that edamame and I found it really pretty delicious. So something that we've incorporated into our family, a regular snack, and something that can be grown locally. So something that will be added to our garden next year for sure.
Yeah, they are quite yummy. I just had mine for the first time this summer as well. I have a friend who grew them. It's like a bean, but I find that it's a little, it's furry.
Yeah, it is an edible soybean is what it is. So what we grow in our fields, but it's the equivalent of field corn and sweet corn. So our soybeans and our edamame are going to be equivalent to that. It is an edible soybean and something that, yes, is very hardy to our area. It's something that can definitely be grown, and it really does taste great.
Yeah, I was very, very pleasantly surprised when we had it. And she steamed it. Do your children eat it just fresh, raw?
You can do it both ways. You can boil those up as well as we did with Leah, and you can make it into a good hummus. So all things that you want to look for.
I love a hummus.
Great.
All right, I think that's enough onion for me. Let's see, we're going to double check our chicken, and maybe while that's finishing up, we will crumble up our bacon, and then we are almost, we better check our noodles. I'm going to quick chop up some chives here. And then we're going to throw in our mushrooms and broccoli, onions into our chicken and get those simmering a little bit here. So we got some nice big mushrooms we're going to throw in. Sometimes these bigger ones, to cook them faster, you can break them apart.
Sure. And again, you can come up with plenty of different vegetables, anything that you're growing in your garden now. You can even saute some squash, some zucchini would go great with this. In an Alfredo sauce like this, you can really add just about anything you'd like. So definitely liven it up. Try different things that will appeal to your taste. If you're not big on the onions or the garlic, you can leave those out. If you like them, do try to incorporate those in. Remember, they are good for our heart health.
Carrots would add some great color to this, as well as some red peppers.
Good. Yes.
So those would all be yummy in there as well. All right, so we got our mushrooms in. We're going to throw in some broccoli here. Now, and if you wanted to get these vegetables cooked a little bit faster, you could throw a lid on this pan. You could probably even do this in like a wok.
Sure.
Throw in the onions. My husband loves onions. Me, not as well, but that's all right. All right, so we'll get those cooking. I'll chop up the rest of our chives there.
And the chives, too, are going to add a lot of great flavor, something that you can actually grow throughout the winter. An indoor herb garden is really beneficial, and it keeps your food fresh, makes your dishes taste great. So definitely look into that. A container garden for the winter inside does work well.
Do you know if you are already growing them outside, if you can transplant them inside?
They are difficult to transplant. You're going to want to start with a new plant usually.
Okay. Darn, I have some growing outside.
Give it a try. See what happens.
We'll see what happens. All right. Well, there's our couple of chives there.
Yeah, they smell great.
They sure do. Yummy, yummy.
They are my favorite herb, so throw them on there, Amy.
Now, we grew basil this year so we could make homemade pesto. I like to cook with pesto in the winter.
Good.
I cook with turkey burger, and turkey burger, while it's healthier for you, it's also more cost effective than hamburger. It's about $1.99 a pound.
Right.
And the good for you hamburger is about $2.85 a pound, so I do a lot of turkey burger.
Okay.
But I find that it's a little bland. So I really doctor it up with the garlic and basil and any other seasonings I have sitting in my cupboard.
Right. And again, turkey is something, throw it in a casserole, use it in your spaghetti sauces, things that are going to be a little bit hidden. So, you know, you might not enjoy a plain turkey burger, but if you can make it in your different dishes, every meal that we can convert is for the benefit.
Definitely. I don't even buy the hamburger anymore, to be honest, and nobody in my family has noticed the difference yet. So.
Okay. Good. Yeah, that sounds nice and crispy. Looks good.
Yeah. My mom always says, make the bacon almost burnt. So
there you go.
It's a little dark on some of these sides, but it's nice and crispy. And I'm just breaking it with my fingers. I suppose you could cut it.
Sure.
I have a friend who cuts everything with the scissors.
Oh, that would work too.
Yeah. She's got a kitchen shears that she cuts all her vegetables with. So.
Yep. Well, while Amy is working on that, it'd be nice to visit a little bit about some of our Community Health Challenge events that are coming up. We have Wii tournaments. We just finished up Dance Your Heart Out. We have geocaching. We have some yoga classes. We have walking groups. There are so many opportunities right now within our community to stay active. If you haven't engaged in any of these community events, do go to theheartofnewulm.org and find out what's going on. If you don't like to run and walk, there are other events. If you like to play Wii, you finally have some people to play it with. Check our monthly calendar. October becomes even more busy. We will be having Danny Cahill from The Biggest Loser will be in town on October 16th, and he will be giving our motivational presentation of the year. This event is free of charge, so if you get the opportunity, come down to the DAC and visit with Danny Cahill. Amy, are you going to make it to all of these events?
I'm going to try. What is the DAC again? Can you
That is
remind me?
the District Administrative Center, so that would be the junior high to the old New Ulmers.
All right. I have yet to play Wii, so I should maybe go try one of those.
Yep, should be a fun tennis and bowling tournament I think they're going to be having.
I'm not very good at regular bowling, so
You might
maybe I
surprise
could be
yourself,
better on the Wii.
The geocaching, too, is something different and unique. They'll be meeting down at Flandreau you'll go and find the hidden treasure. So definitely a new experience, and we hope to continue to engage in different opportunities such as those. Frisbee golf, another opportunity that we'll be having coming up soon as well. So,
like a scavenger hunt, huh?
Yes, it is.
What the geocaching is?
Similar, yep. You're going to find that hidden treasure. It's pretty in-depth and detailed. I think you have to use your computer a little bit and use your skills. So should be interesting. It's a lot for me to learn too.
Internal computer?
I don't think so.
Oh, all right.
But it will be a learning experience for me as well.
And I believe all the state parks have those.
I think so too.
Or the Minnesota state parks, at least.
Boy, that looks great. That's good color in that.
It sure is. I think that broccoli is almost done. So I'm going to throw in the, I'm going to gently pour in our nice sauce over here. Even borrow that from you. Hopefully it all fits in this pan. And we're going to let this come to a nice little simmer. And while Betsy was talking about what was going on, we checked the noodles and those were done. So we put them in a colander over here in the sink. And we did not rinse them in order to keep the extra nutrients on the noodles. There we go. Ooh, that pan's still hot. Slide that over there. We're going to bring that to a nice little simmer. I have not eaten lunch yet, so.
And now will that sauce continue to thicken as you're heating it here?
Oh, yeah.
Good.
It's like a great Alfredo. Who doesn't love a good Alfredo, right?
That's right.
And you could use this with shrimp.
Mm-hmm.
You know, throw a
That's a good
shrimp
idea.
in there.
Yep.
You could use a turkey sausage.
Sure.
So you could really alter it in a multitude of ways.
And this looks like it's going to serve quite a few. So this is a nice, full, complete meal.
Oh, definitely. Yep. All right, we're going to let that get going a little bit. Heat that up, get it to a little bit of a simmer. We'll throw in some turkey bacon here. Tasty. I'm going to leave some off so that we can garnish on the top. So we're going to let that cook for just a few more minutes, and then we'll be ready to serve it. I'm going to measure out some noodles here. A serving is about 1.5 cups. So there's our half. There's one. Well, not quite. Yep, one. And 1.5. Ooh,
Okay.
that's a nice big serving of noodles. Looks tasty. And then what I'm going to do is take some of this yummy chicken stroganoff with bacon, turkey bacon,
Yeah, that looks
broccoli, garlic, mushrooms. Oh my goodness. Yummy, yummy. Turn that pan off. I'm going to garnish a little bit with some bacon.
great. And we're ready to eat.
Oh, just wait. And a little Parmesan cheese.
Perfect. That does look great. And remember, you can add even more color if you're throwing in your carrots and other vegetables. Make it to what you would like, but be sure to keep that base of that turkey bacon as well as the chicken, the low-fat sour cream. All of those modifications are going to make this a great, heart-healthy recipe. Well, Amy, you've done a great job. I can't wait to try it. Sure appreciate you being here and for being one of our district leaders. So look for Amy within the community, ask her questions about the Heart of New Ulm, and get involved. That's it for this week's episode of What's Cooking, New Ulm. We'll see you next week.
Bye.